latest edition of Miami Hurricanes Talk with Danny, presented by Lorraine Sports. We are live on YouTube tonight. Please like and subscribe if you are watching this on YouTube. It helps out a lot. I join Canes Connection at canesconnection.com. If you want to purchase the shirt, because we bring the smoke presented with Lorraine Sports, it helps the NIL. Kids that do not have NILs, I'll put all the links in the description. This week's guest on this episode is Cody Henderson from the League Winners website, who covers Cal football, Canes and the Cal Golden Bears, Saturday night, 10:30 on ESPN. College Game Day is going to be in Berkeley this week, and Cody has a few minutes to join us tonight. Cody, good evening. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. I've been a fan of yours for a while now, so yeah, I'm excited for Miami to come out to Cal's first ACC home game. A little weird saying that, but yeah, right now I cover Cal for the League Winners. You can follow me on X at Codeman675, and then you can follow the League Winners as well. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, Danny.
Okay, here. Listen, I looked at the film of the last two games, the Auburn game, and I then looked at the Florida State game. To me, the one that stands out right away is Mendoza. I know Mendoza's from Miami. He was recruited, but Miami did not get him here. Tell our audience how good Mendoza is outside of South Florida.
Yeah, I really think the biggest thing with Mendoza is just his, ball security. He doesn't really turn the ball over. He doesn't really make, I guess you could say, dumb decisions with the football. He hasn't really thrown for a ton of yardage in any game yet, and that's not really what we've seen out of him so far. He did start 8 games last year as a freshman, and now this is his sophomore year. He hasn't thrown for a ton of yards, like I mentioned, but he's calm, cool, and collected is how I like to describe Mendoza. He's not really looking to make a crazy play or do anything crazy. I know when you guys played against Virginia Tech, Drones was making some crazy plays. That's not Mendoza's game. He's really just going to stand in the pocket. He's tall. I think he's like 6'5". So he's got a pretty good view above the offensive lineman. And yeah, I mean, really just ball security is the best thing about Mendoza right now. I think he only has 2 interceptions on the season. Could be wrong there. Could be 3. But yeah, I don't believe any fumbles either. So he's not going to turn the ball over, as far as what we've seen so far. But yeah, no, he's played well.
The thing I looked at, yeah, definitely when on the bye, they're coming off a bye week, tough loss against Florida State 2 weeks ago in Tallahassee, missed 2 field goals, turned the ball over. Listen, this is a very solid team. I'm looking at Cal on tape, and this is a solid football team. Tell our audience about Cal and their defense, first of all.
So the defense has really been, the story of the team so far. I'm not sure if they've given up more than 14 points at home yet, but they've only played UC Davis and San Diego State at home so far. So not crazy opponents to go against. But, yeah, I mean, it's really led by the linebacking core of Cady Luave and Teddy Buchanan. Buchanan is a senior that transferred over from UC Davis. And he was really Cal's best kept secret, but now he's not really so much a secret anymore. And then on the other side, Uluave, this is his sophomore season. He played against Cam Ward last year when Cam Ward was at Washington State. And yeah, those two have just been a tackling machine so far. Really been impressed with watching them play. And then in the secondary, Craig Woodson this is his 6th season, I believe. He's a safety back there. So he's got a lot of experience. And then Noel Williams is a corner that transferred from UNLV actually 2 seasons ago. And right now he leads the nation in interceptions. And I believe Cal, they're not at the top anymore after the bye, but the defense was ranked like number 1 and forced turnovers. So not just forced turnovers, but turnovers gained. And so that's really been the key so far. And, against Florida State, the defense still played really well. They had a couple of plays that, I'm sure they'd love to have back, but for the most part, they kept them in that game.
Yeah, 10 penalties. I looked at the thing that killed you guys against Florida State with 10 penalties. Yeah. Couple false starts, Even Mendoza said after the game, we had self-inflicted wounds. You mentioned Cam Ward. The thing I look at when you saw him last year against Washington State, What differences have you noticed, obviously, between Cam Ward at Washington State and Cam Ward now?
I really think it's his confidence, right? I mean, playing at Washington State, and this is no knack on the Cougars, but they don't have the weapons that you guys have down there in Miami. So what I think we're really starting to see now with Cam is that confidence, kind of take shape in his play, and now you're seeing that. I mean, he's just playing like a chicken with his head cut off, right? I mean, he's making every sort of play that you guys could, ask for, and then more. So I think that's really the biggest difference that I've noticed from Cam, because I've seen him play twice against Cal, and his first season against Cal, he beat Cal, and then Cal got the best of him last year. But yeah, I really think it's his confidence, just being able to trust his receivers more, and knowing that he's playing on a really good team.
Now, the receiver that really stood out to me, and I'm thinking he's Mendoza's favorite target now, is Isaiah Hunter. I mean, this guy's very good. I understand high yardage games this year, but he's a guy who I'm thinking he's his big play guy. His big play.
Yeah, and they've been dealing with some injuries. On the receiving corps, they had Tobias Merriweather transfer from Notre Dame. He's been hurt to start the season, so he hasn't played. And then they had Keon Graves transfer from Ohio State. He hasn't played yet either. And head coach Justin Wilcox continues to tell us that they're week to week. So I'm not sure if they're going to play this week. I have no idea. But yeah, Isaiah Hunter, he leads the team in yards and touchdowns right now. And yeah, like you mentioned, he hasn't really had a big yardage game, but what we've seen is Mendoza trust him near the end zone to just throw him a one-on-one football. And, Hunter's come down with quite a few of them so far. It's been really impressive for someone who, was probably going to be a third string to start the season.
You're familiar with Mario Cristobal, our head coach.
Yes.
Of course, Mario Cristobal is 3-1 against Cal in his career. Of course, being in Oregon. Are you expecting anything different Saturday night from a Mario team now than what the Mario teams you saw at Oregon?
Well, one thing about his teams is that they've always have a ton of talent. He's always been such a good recruiter, no matter where he's been. It's just whether he's always been able to put it all together. And, some of those Oregon teams came up just short. I know you guys have had some, kind of weird seasons over there in Miami, but now it seems like it's finally clicking everywhere. Yeah, I mean, what you're going to get out of a Mario Cristobal team is toughness, right?
Yes,
the offensive line, defensive line are just going to be tough. He wants to, it just seems like wherever they go, they're tough. So that's what I'm expecting, to see, is that I'm going to see a Miami defensive line that's going to be probably really active trying to get after Mendoza. I believe, the defense is like top 10 in the country right now in sacks and quarterback pressure. So yeah, that's what I'm really expecting to see, is just a tough team that's probably going to be flying all to the ball all over the field.
Thing I look at when I see during the bye, I think you guys practice during the bye week. What was that about? Practicing during the bye week. I wanted to stay maybe active. What's the deal? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, just keeping it fresh. There's a lot of things to clean up. As you mentioned earlier, the pre-snap penalties have been a problem for a few games now. And, you could probably use an excuse that they played at Jordan-Hare Stadium and then Doak Campbell, but that's something that they've got to clean up. And then as well as the kicking situation, their kicker has not been good so far. He's only made like 2 field goals out of
missed 2 field goals in Tallahassee.
Yeah, and he missed. I think he missed 1 or 2 against Auburn, and then he missed 1 or 2 against San Diego State as well. So, yeah, just trying to get that cleaned up. Offense just isn't where it needs to be right now at this point, and that can be equated due to injuries on the offensive line and then receiving corps as well as Ott being out. But yeah, really just trying to get this offense in high gear.
Any word if Ott's going to be playing in this game? Yeah,
he should be playing. Should be good to go.
Yeah, the thing I look at when I seen the film in the Auburn, the Florida State games is Ott's going to be there. Ott's their big play guy in the ground game when healthy. But I know there's another. I was looking at another back. Can you tell us who their other back is? I couldn't tell when I was watching the film.
Yeah, so they've got 2 other backs that they like to use. One that's really emerged as of late is Javian Thomas. He's actually a Bay Area local, or native, I should say. He's from Oakland. Went to high school out there in Oakland, and
Mhm.
yeah, he really came on against the game in the game against San Diego State because Ott didn't play that game, and I believe he had like 160 to 170 yards rushing. So he's he's been a really pleasant surprise. Kadarius Callaway is another running back that we're probably going to see on Saturday. He had a good game against San Diego State. He didn't. I'm not sure how much playing time he got against Florida State. I don't
Mhm.
think it was much, but yeah, that's if Ott's not going to play, those two are going to be the guys, and
Yeah, another thing I've
Thomas more so
noticed,
than Callaway.
slow first halves, and against Miami, you cannot have slow starts
No.
because against a team like Miami, this team will blow you out of the building. How are they addressing that issue of starting fast and not starting slow, especially against a team of this caliber?
Yeah, it's really just establishing the run. When I spoke with offensive coordinator Mike Lesh today, I asked him about not wanting to be conservative, knowing that Miami's defense and pass rush are going to be active. But the slow starts have been a problem, and it's really they're going to want to try to establish the run early. Just now that Ott is fully healthy, they want to try to get him the ball and feed him the ball as much as possible, and especially to keep the ball out of Cam Ward's hands, they're going to want to try to make the most out of their time of possession as possible. And then really just the penalties, as we mentioned earlier, there's too many pre-snap penalties. In the Florida State game, they got down there around like the 11-yard line, and then it's a false start, right? And then
Yeah,
that just
those
can't
are
happen,
killers.
especially
Those are
against
killers.
Miami. Those are killers. So those are the two areas that they're going to try to really improve upon.
Thing I look at when I look at Cal, I mean, to me, I've always said Mendoza's their guy. What went for Miami fans making the trip west? What is the crowd going to be like Saturday night at 10:30 Eastern time, 7:30 out in Berkeley?
Yeah, so I'm not sure, how tapped in, you are or other Miami fans are on the Cal like X Calgorithm, I guess you could say.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm expecting a pretty decent sized crowd. I know head coach Justin Wilcox today said in the presser that there's not too many tickets left. So
Oh,
I believe Memorial holds around, like 65K, probably 70K.
mm-hmm.
With a couple of fans up on the hill. They call it Tightwad Hill, where they shoot the cannon off with Cal scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I know the fans are really trying to get them to pull the tarps down and make
Wow.
that capacity be a little bit more. But I'm expecting a pretty good sized crowd. Hopefully
Yeah.
50,000 up.
Yeah, when I see Cal, I've looked at the team and the film I've seen on them. Hey, that defense is pretty good. That team,
Yeah.
like you said, they force turnovers. To me, I think one key for Miami victory is ball security, because against Virginia Tech, we turned it over. There were 2 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Cam. The running game has to get going. And also, I was going to ask you, Cody, with Ruben Bain coming back from Miami, how do you deal with a guy that has that big an impact of Ruben Bain's coming back Saturday night? How do they deal with him?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's hard to game plan against players like of his caliber. So really, and Cal's offensive line is, this isn't all their fault, but they have given up 13 sacks in the past 2 games, which is too much, right? I mean,
Yeah.
16 sacks total on the year, but 13 in 2 games is a little bit much. And you could probably put some of that on Mendoza not getting rid of the ball and running backs missing their blocks, but I'm expecting Cal to probably utilize both tight ends a lot this game.
Yeah, that's been
Move
the
to some
issue with
heavy
us.
personnel. Yeah, some heavy personnel packages. They've got 2 pretty good tight ends actually, so I expect a lot of quick stuff, a lot of screens. Trying to slow him down, and probably run where he's not right. I know he's a total game wrecker, but they got to try at least, right?
Yeah, and it goes Mazador, and the 2 guys on the inside, Clark, Barron, etc. But the thing I look at let me ask you this, Cody. Give me your keys to a Cal upset on Saturday night.
Keys to a Cal upset is really feeding Jaden Ott. Now that he's fully healthy, they've got to get him the ball, and he's not just a threat running the ball, but he's also a big time threat receiving. So if they can get him the ball and in space, that's going to be really huge for them. And then, forcing turnovers, right? That's been their key this whole season. Nolan Williams, leading the country in interceptions. I'm sure, he's probably going to be aggressive this game. And I mentioned earlier, Katie Lualve, he played against Cam Ward last season. He had a forced fumble on him and an interception. The interception was a Hail Mary interception, so not a big deal. But it's going to be defense. Like it's with how electric and explosive Miami is all over the field on offense, they're really going to need to tackle well this game and keep the ball out of Cam Ward's hands.
For Miami, for keys to a Miami victory that can be Cam. Correct the errors from last week, and there were a ton of errors against Virginia Tech. Do not turn the ball over and get that running game going. I was going to mention one other question on the running game. How does Cal prepare to deal with really a three or four-headed monster running game the way Miami's going to bring it in this game? Martinez, about Martinez coming from Oregon State. Tell our audience about Damian about Damian Martinez. We know about him here, but talk about him when he was at Oregon State. I know you guys faced him there.
Yeah, Oregon State has always been an incredibly tough team, for Cal to play against. Oregon State, it's unfortunate they got left out of the, they're still in the Pac. I guess that's a new Pac or whatever it's going to be. But yeah. But from what we saw, it's. I mean, I think he ran for over 1,100 yards or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think he averaged, like 6 yards a carry. So he really played well when Cal's played against him. It's going to be tough, right? I mean, Cal has played against Auburn's running back. I'm blanking on his name right now. He was pretty good too. And then, Florida State as well. But, yeah, he's a different beast. He's explosive. He's fast. He's kind of everything you want in running back, right? I mean, he's 225, 230 pounds?
Around there, yeah, 230.
Yeah, and I'm looking at his game log from Cal last year. He had 89 yards and a touchdown. So, yeah, he's going to be tough to stop. But that's, kind of been the strength of Cal's defense so far is they have played really good running backs. Even UC Davis had a really good running back. I think he was like the Big Sky Player of the Year. And then Auburn's running back and then San Diego State's running back were all really good. So it isn't anything that they haven't seen. And, they've played against Martinez before. But, yeah, it's just they got to contain him, right?
But it's a step up. You have now Fletcher, but now you can go with Fletcher, Jordan Lyle, A.J. Allen, Chris Johnson just changed the pace a bit. But, yeah, the keys to a Miami win, don't turn the ball over. Don't make mental mistakes. Cut the penalties down, the whole bit, I think if you do that, I think Miami's going to be coming angry after the near upset bid by Virginia Tech on the last play of the game last week. I'm going to say this, and I'll let you out, and I'll get you out of here with a prediction. I think Miami comes out big, and I think Miami wins this game comfortably. I'm going 38-21 Canes. Cody, give me your prediction for Saturday, and I'll let you out with that.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit tighter of a game, and I'll share this briefly with you. This is just a betting thing.
Yes.
So I'm not sure what the line is right now, but
I think it's 10.5. I think it's dropped to 10.5 as of today.
Okay, when I checked, Miami was 14-point favorites. But I will say, under Justin Wilcox, they are 14-7 covering the spread as double-digit underdogs, and they have actually won 5 times outright. And at home, they are 5-1 covering the spread on double-digit underdogs, winning twice outright. So one thing that, I feel like is going to be tough for Miami is, the time. And I know that's, whatever. But
we're flying out there tomorrow. We're flying out, I think, on Thursday. We're going to fly out to the West Coast.
Yeah. Okay. And it is going to be a little bit warmer than usual. So I was thinking it was going to be like, high 50s, and 7:30 would make it tough for Miami. But yeah, I do think Cal can probably cover the spread. I will say my official prediction is probably 34, Miami 34, Cal 27.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. We're going with that. Cody, listen, thanks for coming on. Greatly appreciate it. Enjoy the game Saturday night. Safe travels to Berkeley on Saturday. We'll talk again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, Danny. Appreciate being on here. It's been a pleasure talking and learning a little bit more about Miami Hurricanes football, and happy to be a part of the ACC. I'm glad you guys. I'm pretty sure Miami was key, and I think North Carolina, or not North Carolina, but NC State. We're helping Cal and Stanford and SMU get in to the conference. So we wouldn't be here without some of the ACC schools. So we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thanks very much. By the way, before we go, I'll put all the links in the description. Again, Lorraine Sports. You want to purchase a T-shirt? Go to the Shopify. I'll put all the links in the description. Join CANES Connection today. You can see that there. Give them a follow if you get a chance, and we will talk. And let's go, CANES. We'll see you next. Post game will be Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Just want to give you a little heads up on that. So take care. Have a good night, and God bless.
Thanks, Danny.